Hey guys, Zaya from CarNewba Detailing. Welcome to the CarNewba Detailing podcast. I'm going to be doing a new segment on the podcast where I go ahead and feature some of your photos and work from detailing on the YouTube channel. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the podcast and the YouTube channel when you get a chance. These photos are from Cameron from NorCal Detailing. He just started off detailing in California. He did a thorough decontamination on this BMW 5 Series, a one-step polish with Chemical Guys V36, and then he used some awesome butter wax on there, and the results speak for themselves, guys. He did a great job on this BMW, completely changed the look of the car. I'm sure the customer was super happy with the results. So if you want your photos featured on the channel, make sure to go ahead and subscribe, follow the podcast, and subscribe on YouTube, and send over those photos. All my email information is in the description on YouTube. Besides that, guys, let's go ahead and jump into the podcast, and I hope you guys enjoy. Hey, what's up, guys? Zaya from CarNewba Detailing, and welcome to yet another episode of the CarNewba Detailing podcast. Thank you so much for my reoccurring visitors that join me once again, whether you're on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes. Thank you so much for joining in. And if you're a new listener or a new viewer, make sure to go ahead and hit that follow, that subscribe button, and go ahead and leave a comment or direct message me on Instagram if you have any questions at all, guys. You can go ahead and direct message me at CarNewba Detailing, CarNewba, followed by Detailing on Instagram. I'd be more than happy to help you guys out. But let's go ahead and jump into what we're going to talk about today. And what are we talking about today? Well, over 3.2 billion people utilize what we're going to talk about today. People spend over 2.5 hours per day on what we're going to talk about today, and we probably pay attention to it a lot as well. It's a very big part of our lives, and that is social media. Now, we're not going to go over everything social media today. I'm just going to go over a few tips and tricks here and there, mainly focusing on Instagram and Facebook for the most part, but we will be doing more video content and taking a step-by-step on what I do on my social media later down the line on YouTube, on podcasts. So make sure to go ahead and subscribe and follow and keep up with what we're doing, all right? But let's go ahead and jump straight in. Like I said, guys, there are a lot of people using social media. Over half of the world utilizes social media. So we need to make sure, or at least I also need to make sure that I'm maximizing my potential on social media to the best of my ability. Now, I'm not telling you guys my social media platforms are perfect. I'm not saying my Instagram is the best, but I've done some things that have been pretty cool and have been giving me some really good results. I want to go ahead and share that stuff with you as well. So this is for small business owners, entrepreneurs, detailers, enthusiasts, people who are trying to go ahead and improve their social media game in general. But again, like I said, my social media platforms are not perfect. I'm just coming from a place of intuition, telling you guys what has worked for me and what hasn't worked for me. And that's all this is, guys. I'm not an expert on this, but hopefully you guys enjoy and get something out of it, all right? So I'm mainly going to be talking about Instagram and Facebook for the most part, and also a little bit of YouTube, but we're going to be covering more things, like I said, later down the line. But let's go ahead and jump straight into it, all right? So let's start with Instagram. My Instagram has went from no followers whatsoever in a year to over 1,000 followers. Now, that's not really the biggest number out there. I mean, there's pages out there that have hundreds of thousands of followers, millions of followers. There's small businesses that have 30, 40, 50,000 followers. But I found that, my followers are very engaged for the most part. I don't know if you guys have ran into an Instagram page with 10, 15, 20,000 followers. You go through their posts and all their posts only have like 100, 200 likes. Well, their followers aren't really that engaged. So the first thing I want to tell you guys is don't necessarily pay attention to the numbers of followers you have. Obviously, you want to get more followers later down the line and continue to grow your page, but pay attention to your engagement. And what is your engagement? Your engagement is, are people liking your posts? Are people commenting on your posts? Are people going from your posts to your direct messages to message you a question or maybe want to schedule an appointment or something like that? These are all things that you want to pay attention to a lot more than just how many followers you have. And even likes, guys, a lot of people pay attention to the likes. I find that comments and direct messages engagement is way more important than just likes engagement. Someone can like your photo, but at the end of the day, unless you're like a legit content creator and you make a living off of it, is that like putting money back into your pocket as a business owner? That's what you need to pay attention to. So make sure your followers are engaged. So how do you get engaged followers? It's all content based, okay? You need to make quality content at the end of the day. And let's go ahead and jump into the nitty-gritty details on how to do that. I found that on average, I post around 2 to 3, maybe 4 posts a week, depending on how busy and how much of stuff I got going on. I find that that's a very good amount of posts. I've posted more in the past. I've posted less in the past, but I found that 2, 3, 4 posts a week is kind of where I get the best engagement from my followers. I get comments, I get likes, I get messages. That's where my engagement is. That's where people are still interested, but not over flooded with any type of content. And that's something you have to pay attention to, guys. There's a lot of pages out there that post constantly multiple times throughout the day. Maybe it may be quality content, but people get very overwhelmed by that. You got to think of this as kind of like a TV program, a show. People want to still go ahead and watch their show, but not being overstuffed with commercials necessarily. So that brings me on to my next point as well. The type of content you produce. I'm a small business owner. I am a professional automotive detailer in Surprise, Arizona. I service the larger Phoenix area as well. So obviously, I'm trying to gain customers off of my business Instagram, my business Facebook, YouTube, whatever it may be. But at the same time, I don't want to bore my customers to death or my potential customers and followers to death with just sale posts, okay? What I mean by that, don't just do before and after posts and say call us today to schedule your appointment. No one's really going to find much interest in that, okay? I make engaging quality content, whether it be educational, whether it be fun, whether it be cool. I have a cool photo of a car, and I plug in a story in the description as well to engage my followers too. That's something very important. So just like a TV show, you want to watch the show, enjoy it. There might be a few commercials here and there, but if there's too many, a viewer might get irritated and just leave, just unfollow you and not pay attention to you anymore, or the story at the bottom of their list when it comes to pages on Instagram or Facebook and not really pay attention to you. So you want to make sure you find a right balance. So like I said, 2 to 3, maybe 4 posts a week, but the majority of those posts are educational, they are engaging, they're not just sale posts, okay? I'm not trying to sell my I'm not trying to sell my followers. I'm not trying to sell my potential customers necessarily in those posts. I'm just trying to educate them, show them what's going on, give them some cool photos, some cool descriptions, some cool stories for them to enjoy throughout their day, for them to enjoy through that 2.5 hour time frame that people spend on average. Did you know that? Close to 2.5 hours are spent a day on social media. So I want to make sure that I'm able to engage my followers during that time frame to the best of my ability and not irritate them at all as a small business, okay? Now, let me give you an example of one of those posts. So I'll try to link it here or post it here on the YouTube channel. So if you're listening to this via audio on a podcast, make sure to check out my YouTube channel as well, where you can see some of these posts. So just go ahead and check out my Instagram yourself at CarNewba Detailing. Super simple to find. I'll be the first one on there. Again, that's CarNewba followed by Detailing. If you're on YouTube, it's going to be in the link in the description for you to go ahead and check out. But I had a post just the other day. Me and Mark, one of my good friends, Mark Abar here in the Phoenix area, we're working on this classic Woody. If you haven't seen a Woody before, you got to go ahead and check out my Instagram page. It is an awesome classic car. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it's unique, but it needed a lot of work. We had some great before and afters. We had awesome results when it came to our one-step polish on the vehicle. We finished it off with some sealant, took care of all the little chrome pieces and details, and we just had a great time. Now, when I posted that on Instagram, I didn't just post the before and afters and say, if you're interested in getting your car to look like this, call, text, check out our website, email. I didn't do that, okay? I put in a story in the description. I engaged my followers. I told them, hey guys, hope you're all having a great day. Me and Mark were working together on this classic Woody over here. We had a great time. We started off with a one-step correction, finished it off with some sealant, polished out the chrome pieces, and it looks great. Tell us what you think in the comment section below. And if you're interested in getting your vehicle detailed, feel free to direct message me or give me a call if you'd like. So that's kind of how I go about my descriptions. I add a little bit of something in there. Some of them are longer, some of them are shorter. One vehicle that was very interesting that I detailed a few weeks ago was a Willys, one of those classic Willys, but it had a very, very interesting history behind it. The owner was a Marine. He got the blood red stripes on the side that you find on Marine trousers on their dress uniforms, and I incorporated the history of the Marines and the dress uniform and all that stuff into the description of the post. and people loved it. People engaged with it. They found it very interesting. They liked the knowledge that was provided in the post, but they liked the photo as well. And if they were interested, they would have direct messaged me, because I did also go ahead and plug in my information, my contact information below the actual story itself. So when you post stuff, guys, make sure you have quality photos. If you don't have a DSLR camera, I totally recommend for you to get one. I know it's maybe an expensive investment for some people. It was for me. Dropping $400 or $500 on a camera is pricey, guys. We're small business owners, if you are one, and we're just starting out. So $400, $500, $600 on just a camera is a lot of money at times, but trust me, it is well worth the investment. My camera, my mic system, my phone as well, that's an investment you have to pay attention to. We're all quality investments, and I've made more off of these tools than what I've spent on them. So make sure to go ahead and get a quality camera. If you do have a quality camera on your phone, that's awesome, but go ahead and try editing those photos a little bit, add a little bit of contrast, a little bit of saturation. Don't edit to the point where it's fake and it's not true results, but you know what? A little bit of editing will go a long way in improving your content overall, especially for photos on Instagram and Facebook and all of that good stuff, okay? After you have your quality post, whether it be your photo or your video, go ahead and finish it off with a quality story in your description as well. Tell people exactly what you did, who you were doing it with, if you're working with one of your employees, if you're working with a friend, or maybe it was just you. Describe how your day was going throughout the detail. Describe the process you went through when it came to paint correction or the interior detail. And then after that, guys, below that, leave a little bit of space. Go ahead and plug in your contact information. If you'd like to schedule an appointment, sir or ma'am, whatever it may be, go ahead, plug in your phone number, website, email, whatever you got, go ahead and plug it in there. Now, moving on from there, guys, another really important thing you want to pay attention to are your hashtags. Now, Instagram and Facebook allows up to 30 hashtags per post for you to go ahead and implement into your content. Now, those 30 hashtags are very important. You want to make sure they're targeted and tailored towards the people you want to pay attention to your posts and your content, all right? And let me give you a perfect example. When I started off detailing, I used hashtags like detailers of Instagram, detailing community, detailers of IG, detailing done right. Great hashtags if you're trying to market towards detailers. And Levi Gates from the Rag Company really, really stresses this a lot. If you are a detailer, if you are a small business owner, don't market towards your fellow detailers or fellow industry leaders. They're not the people you're trying to sell to, you know? They might engage and like your content because that is what they do as well. And a lot of people respect the other people's grinds. I know detailers, the detailing community is amazing because we do truly love and support each other to the best of our abilities. I mean, there are buttholes in the industry too. Don't want to mention them. But, you know, you get what I'm saying. If you're in the same industry, the industry is trying to support each other for it to grow as a whole. But you're not necessarily going to get a detailer to buy your service. If you do, I'd be very surprised, and there's something wrong with that detailer at the end of the day. But you're trying to market towards other individuals. So move away from, if you are using those detailers of Instagram, detailing community, detailing memes is a big one because a lot of people get likes on funny detailing photos and stuff like that. Move away from that and start utilizing things such as hashtag, like I'm in Arizona, I'm in Surprise, Arizona, Scottsdale, Phoenix, Glendale, Peoria. These are all big markets for me. These are types of hashtags I use on those types of posts to engage, hopefully, with my target market. Scottsdale AZ, Scottsdale hairstylist, Surprise, Arizona real estate, Phoenix, Arizona real estate agent, things like that. You're not necessarily going to get as many views or as many likes on your posts because they're not as popular. They're very local. They're very targeted. So obviously not a lot of people are tuning into those hashtags as much, but those are the people who you're trying to sell your services to. And this goes with any business, guys. This goes with, a hair salon. This goes with an accounting firm, a small accounting firm, whatever it may be. It's not just detailing. Make sure your hashtags are targeted towards people you're trying to sell to. So again, guys, you can use up to 30 hashtags per post. Go ahead and utilize hashtags that are relevant towards people you're actually trying to sell your service to, people that are local if you are a service-based company just like myself, and you're going to get a lot better results when it actually comes to converting those engaged followers, likes, comments, direct messages to sales. I've had some of my favorite clients. I love all my clients, but I've had clients that I get service every single month, reoccurring reoccurring customers, and I got them off of Instagram because they saw my engaging posts. They saw all that, the stories that I post and everything like that. They love the work. They love the personality that I put out there, and they stuck with me. And it's been a blessing, and I'm thankful for every single one of the followers I have that are customers. And I'm just thankful for all my followers for the support that they provide. All right. But let's go ahead and move on from just the amount of hashtags and the type of hashtags. Let's go ahead and move on how you should go ahead and lay out the actual description of your post. Now, like I said, go ahead and post the story, the engaging description for people to get hooked on and figure out who you are as an individual, what services you provide, and the process you go through to get those awesome results. After that, go ahead and plug in your actual content information, phone number, email, use emojis, guys, use a little phone emoji, use a little laptop emoji, all that good stuff. And then go ahead and plug in your hashtags, whether it be in your description, leave spaces between all of these guys. You don't want it to look cluttered or anything like that. Or you can go ahead and plug in your hashtags in the comment section. Now, I've always plugged it into the description. I've always gotten great results like that. I keep it organized. If you want an example on how this looks like, just check out my Instagram page. You'll see all my descriptions laid out on how I do it to the point, so you guys can figure out how to do it yourself as well. Now, I've always put my hashtags in my description, but I have transferred over to putting them in the comment section now. I've done this for about 2 months so far. For me personally, I'm going to be switching back to throwing them into the description. Now, people will go back and forth on this. People say it's better to throw it in the comment section. People say it's better to throw it in the description. In general, guys, I've gotten more likes and more engagement from my hashtags when they're in the description than when they were in the comment section. And if you do plug it in your comment section, I'm sure a lot of you have ran into the little glitch on Instagram when you're trying to type in your hashtags. If anybody likes or comments on your photos while you're trying to type in your hashtags in the comment section, it will reset your comment and you have to start all over, which is super irritating. I hate when that happens. So overall, I've just had a better experience and better results when I had my comments in my description instead of the comment section. Now, you could try it out yourself, test it out. Test it out for a week, test it out for a month. Remember, guys, all this is test, failure, fixing errors and stuff like that. That's how you learn. You learn from your mistakes. So go ahead and try it out yourself and see what happens. I'm personally going back to throwing it into my description instead of in my comment section because I typically get better results that way, and it's a bit less irritating that way as well. Now, we talked about the description. We talked about the content information. We talked about the hashtags. You got 30 hashtags. Make them relevant to your actual customer. Now, guys, if you are a content creator, somebody like Panda Organizer, yes, you're going to go ahead and want to use detailers of Instagram and all of that stuff. But if you're not a content creator, I would consider myself a content creator, yes, but my main go-to is my business. I want to make sales. I want to get money through my sales. So I'm not necessarily focusing on making a living off of YouTube or Instagram or anything like that. But not to say that once in a while, yes, maybe I do post a video from YouTube on Instagram and I'll use detailers of Instagram and detailing related hashtags to get more views and push those views and engagement to YouTube for people to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I've done that in the past. I still do it now. But typically, I'm using hashtags targeted to my community, my local community, individuals I actually want to sell my services to. All right, moving on from the post, we talked a lot about the post. Now, that's Instagram and Facebook. You can use that information vice versa. Typically, Facebook is just a little bit different on how the post is laid out, but you can post on Instagram and share it directly to Facebook. Super easy. It's all in your settings. Just go ahead and try to tinker a little bit with it. I'll make a video later down the line probably on all this and show you guys how to do it step by step, but let's go ahead and move a little bit to your stories. Now, I find stories very important, okay? And this is probably the most important takeaway you can get from this whole podcast, guys. This is super, super important. This goes for your social media. This goes for your small business, the way you interact with people. This goes for everything. People want to work with people at the end of the day. They want to build relationships. They don't want to work with a computer. They don't want to work with a sales guy on Instagram. They don't want to work with a marketing guy. They want to work with a friend, a companion, somebody that they can trust, okay? So, your stories are a perfect opportunity to go ahead and put out a great representation of yourself. Show people who you are truly as an individual on your Instagram and Facebook. Now, if you don't know what a story is just a post that's on the top part of a person's profile that is posted there for 24 hours and 24 hours only, okay? After that 24-hour time frame, the story disappears and you can keep posting stories after that point. You can post as many stories as you want. I typically on average find that 10, 15, 20 story posts max a day is more than enough, actually a perfect amount to go ahead and engage with your followers and potential viewers as well. Now, you can utilize hashtags as well throughout your stories to get people that don't follow you to engage with your stories as well. Now, I forgot to mention, if you don't know what a hashtag is a tag that's associated with a post or a photo that is followed by whoever may follow it. So for a perfect example, let's use detailers of Instagram. There are millions of detailers, hundreds of thousands of detailers that follow that hashtag. So when you use detailers of Instagram on your post or on your story, whoever follows that hashtag, your post and story will pop up on that hashtag's feed for that person to view. It might not be the first, it might not be the second, it might be all the way at the bottom of the feed, but it's going to be posted there, and sooner or later someone's going to view it, someone's going to engage with it. So that is exactly what a hashtag is, and that's why they're so important for both your posts, your main posts on your page, and also your story posts as well. So make sure to go ahead and use hashtags in your story as well. I'll show you exactly how I use hashtags in my story. Let's say I'm posting a new podcast that's coming out tomorrow, for example. I would go on my story right now, go ahead and explain what I'm talking about throughout the podcast, talking about social media, tell people what's going to be going down. And in my story post, I will do hashtag podcast or hashtag YouTube. Now, people that follow those two hashtags will now be able to view my story under that hashtag's feed, bringing me new followers, new engagement to my Instagram, and hopefully transfer and convert that over to my podcast and YouTube channel. That's a perfect example on what I'm talking about. Now let's go ahead and tailor that more to sales. Let's say you're a detailer, you're trying to sell something, you're trying to sell your services. Here's a perfect example. Like I said, your story is trying to show people who you are as an individual and engage with your followers and your potential customers. Be friendly, be nice, be you at the end of the day. That's why a lot of people like engaging with my stories. I get hundreds and hundreds of views on my stories alone when I do post them. And I get a lot of engagement, a lot of messages. People interact with them. People laugh at certain jokes I throw out there. It's me at the end of the day. I'm not some butthole sales guy or some butthole company owner or anything like that. It's just me being me, detailing cars and trying to help people out. And that's really it. It's that simple, guys. But a perfect example is like when I go to a car show, I will go ahead, take a quick story, video, a couple photos of the car show, and I'll put hashtag Cars of AZ, and I will also tag CarNewba Detailing, my company, in that story post as well. Now that does you two things. Anybody who follows Cars of AZ, which is local to me, Phoenix, Arizona, Surprise, Scottsdale, will be able to see that story post. On average, I get maybe around 5 to 10 new viewers when I use a hashtag, depending on what hashtag I utilize in my story. And now that they see that story post, they also see at CarNewba Detailing. They're going to be like, oh, this guy's probably a detailer. Maybe I want to get my car detailed. So they'll probably click the actual story itself or my tag and visit my page and then take it from there. Hopefully my content and the results I put out are engaging enough for them to be converted over to a customer as well. So that's something you got to pay attention to as well as your story posts. Again, guys, 10, 15, 20 maximum I find to be a limit. I used to post a lot on my story. I kind of dialed it back a little bit because I lost engagement with my followers. So I dialed it back. I find 10, 15 to 20 story posts a day is more than enough for you to engage with your followers. And again, guys, put your personality out there. Show people who you are. Educate people. Show people the process you're going throughout the detail. It's something I love doing. When I am detailing a car, I'll show people the issues that we're trying to resolve. Let's say we're doing an interior detail. First thing I tell them, hey guys, Zaya from CarNewba Detailing, hoping you're all having a great day. Let me show you what I'm working on today. We're working on this 2018 Nissan Versa. We got a couple interior stains, a couple of coffee stains. I'm going to go ahead and hit it with some stain remover treatment, some enzyme remover, and hopefully we'll be able to take care of it. I'll show you guys the after results in just a few moments after I'm done with the detail. Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you so much for waiting. Here are the results that we're able to achieve with our stain removal and our interior detail. Tell me what you guys think. Direct message me if you're interested in the service. And that's really it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys soon. It's that simple. People get to know me. They get to interact with me face-to-face on the story. And it's a very short video clip. I'm engaging with my followers throughout that video clip. I'm showing them exactly the process I'm going through. I'm telling them what I'm utilizing, the benefits of my services. Like a great benefit of my interior details, I steam clean all major touched areas of the vehicle. So door panels, shifter, steering wheel, all that stuff, steam cleaned. Seatbelt plastics are steam cleaned, So that's a benefit that I can put out to my customers, and hopefully people can latch onto and say, hey, this guy does this and this guy doesn't do it, so I'm going to go ahead and try to detail out with this guy instead. And this applies for everything, guys. This is for any business, any small business. This isn't just detailing. Go ahead, show your personality on your story and your posts, and make sure you're creating quality, engaging content, educational content people like a lot. People like learning things. The mind is very focused on learning new things. It's very creative. It's curious. It wants to learn something new. So having a fun post, having a fun story that's engaging and personal with someone with education plugged into it is great. That's what you're looking for, and that's where people really engage with your stories and your Instagram posts as well. And I tell you guys, a lot of this is just from my own experience of me tinkering around with Instagram. I keep looking down, guys. I'm just looking at my timer. Sorry about that. But that's just me working and trying to tinker with it, trial and failure. You just got to keep working on it. Try what works for you. What works for me may not work for you. That's why you have to try it yourself and experiment with it. And guys, it's not an overnight process. It takes some time, okay? Especially if you're doing it organically, especially if you're not bullshitting around. There's a lot of guys out there that buy a lot of their followers or use paid promotions and stuff like that. If you're trying to do this organically like I have, it takes some time. You have to expect that. I mean, again, I've only been doing this for a little over a year, and I have over 1,000 followers. That doesn't sound like much, but my competitors in my area have way less, and they've been doing this for over 10, 15, 20 years. So think about that for a second. I've only been doing this over a year when it comes to my local market and when it comes to my Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. And I have competitors that have 500, 600 followers with a quarter of the engagement that I do, and they've been doing it. They've been on Instagram way longer than I have, and they've been doing it way longer than I have too, and have a more well-known reputation, I guess, if you want to say, because they've been around longer. So I think that I've been doing a pretty good job. I could be doing better. You could always be doing better. I'm always looking to improve, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. For the past few weeks or so, I've kind of been looking back on all my posts and kind of checking out what's been working, what hasn't been working. Has my engagement been going down? What do I need to do to improve, rejuvenate my Instagram, rejuvenate my Facebook, rejuvenate my YouTube channel to make things better for my viewers, my followers, and my potential customers? And that's kind of what I'm going to be implementing this upcoming week as well, guys. Things are going to be changing up a little bit. You're going to be seeing some more posts, some more content. I hope you guys really enjoy it, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. So you have to take time, sometimes step back, kind of see what's going on, and see what you can improve upon, all right? There's a saying that people utilize once in a while. Basically it's one guy. He's driving. He's lost. He keeps driving. He tries figuring it out himself, and without stopping, and just continues to go until he gets to where he needs to be. Probably going to take him forever since he doesn't know where he's going. The other individual kind of steps back, stops at a gas station, asks questions, figures out what he has to do to go ahead and get to the point where he needs to be. Guess who's going to get there faster at the end of the day? It's going to be the guy who steps back, takes a moment to relax, observes, sees what's wrong, asks questions to people that might know a bit more than him, and continues on his journey. He's probably going to get there a lot quicker than the other guy who didn't take a break, who didn't stop, who didn't try to figure the problem out, and just continued along his journey. And that's exactly what you need to do with social media. That's exactly what you need to do throughout life and also your business as well. Sometimes you need to step back, take a moment, breathe, figure things out, and then move forward. All right, guys, I really hope you guys got something out of this. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all your time for joining. Make sure to subscribe, follow, leave a comment below, or direct message me on Instagram or Facebook. I'd be more than happy to help out. Besides that, thank you so much. Have a great rest of the day, guys, and I hope you enjoy.